So today on Project Shop, we're over here, and we're going to be cleaning up this whole area, and we're moving right along with our concrete. So we're going to move all this stuff out of the way, get as much cleared. I'm going to set up a transit over there. I'll probably move my trailer down so I can set it back a little bit. And I'm going to shoot the corner of this slab. That's going to be our elevation, and then we're going to drop it probably like a 1-inch drop across that way. So what we'll do is we'll mark, obviously I think this stuff is actually higher than the slab, so we'll have to come up maybe a foot up from where we want, is make a mark on these posts so we can drive a nail on a string line, and then we can just measure down from the string line to get our, you know, our form boards or whatnot. But for now, we're going to move all this stuff, move all them shelves, clear all this stuff out. All the little loose stuff that we can, we're going to put up on the shelves. Everything else is just going to get moved out of the way for now. We're clearing this off. I'm going to probably hook this up to the little tractor, the lawn tractor. It's got a hitch, so we can drag that out. And actually, I was thinking I need to start dragging my fields now that we got another horse and all the bulls. You get a lot more poop out there, and they say we should be dragging the field. I think I'm going to get a piece of chain. Wow, look at this creepy looking thing, man. Every time I'm out here, man, I find a new bug. Anyway, this thing's got a receiver hitch on it. I'll look up the tow capacity on it, but I know I can at least drag maybe like a 6 or 8 foot wide chain link fence. Maybe throw a little piece of weight on it and use this thing to do something. We got to get something going on out there, because they said that it could breed flies and stuff like that. We want to keep flies down for the animals and whatnot. So here's our slab. She's still curing a little bit, as you can see. We're going to let it cure for a couple more days before we actually go to building the shed. But we can pour the form boards off now. I think it's been 3 or 4 days since we poured this. I don't know if we're actually going to be able to salvage any of the stakes, because they kind of deteriorated. The 1 foot ones here, the 2 foot ones, I don't know. We might be able to save them, but I screwed all this together, so it should just unscrew, theoretically. And we'll get this area cleaned up out here today. And we are going to eventually, we did rob some dirt from over here, but I got a couple big hills in the back. And I was talking to my buddy about bringing an excavator over here so we can dig a pond for our animals, so they can kind of cool off. Oh, I see one of the cattle back there. I was out here in the middle of the night, man. The cattle, they're funny, man. They just plop down, sleep in random places. And let's see what we got over here. We got those little piggies. What's up, little piggies? You digging in the dirt? These guys are loving life, man. They literally were in a little box with, like, I don't know, 6 or 8 other little piglets. Probably 6 other pigs. I don't know how much a pig can have, but there was a whole bunch of them in there. They already look like they got bigger. So far, it doesn't smell yet, but dag, I see big old poop over there. So the wife's gonna have to go clean that up, because it's we don't want flies kind of accumulating, right? You don't want to be in your own stench. That was one of my concerns about them, like peeing and pooing in this little area. We got so much going on, we haven't been able to put up the fence. We do got some fencing and some of these metal stakes. So like during the day, they can be out here and kind of root around. But I am concerned that they might try to dig up under the fence. So we're trying to get them like used to, they are scared right now. We're trying to get them used to people or us, so we can kind of get in there and pet them and they're not running, because God forbid if they get out, man, they're just, you know, they're probably just going to be gone. Anyway, we're gonna take this apart, move that stuff, salvage as much of this lumber as possible, and I'm gonna work on fixing the belt on that thing, see if I can't get it tight so we can do 3 bags. And I do have the extruder, so we'll be able to run 2 machines at the same time and hopefully lay the concrete down much faster, because the slab we're going to be doing is roughly the same size. That is 12, but 3 feet more. It's going to be 10 by 15, so it's not going to be much more. But if we're running 2 machines, we can just lay it down quick. So that's what we're doing today. Man, you see the darndest things out here in the country. So we've been hearing this weird noise, which turned out to be a frog. But what you can't really see is the snake that's attached to him. How they got up there is freaking crazy. Where's he at? We keep hearing this noise. This poor frog. That might be your last day, dude. Wow. I don't like that skull anyway, so that's gonna come down. Why is there a frog and a snake way up there? How'd that frog get there? Like, this is crazy. Huh. Poor little guy. It looks like he's got one leg on him. Wow. Dag, dude. Oh! Frog's safe. Look at that snake. He's probably pissed. Does he look venomous?
No, it's a corn snake.
I'm gonna try to knock this thing right down. Well, the frog, oh, there he is. He's back on his thing. Look at this guy. You sure that thing ain't venomous?
Mm-hmm. It's non-venomous. It's a rat snake.
Huh. Okay. I don't know what to do with it. I don't want him back in my garage, that's for sure. Let's throw his ass over into the canal out in the woods. Hopefully he'll stay that way. Ooh. He's mad. We just took his meal. So, I mean, I'm not really about killing animals for no reason, but this guy's been living in my barn. And he's got to go. There he goes. Now you don't come back, because I'll have to kill you the next time. That's crazy how you just slipped over it, man. Imagine how much stuff is in these woods. Oh, there, someone got my pineapple. I planted that thing. Something came over here and grabbed him. He was planted right where you're standing, I think. Right in that hole, actually right there in that hole. Is that a full-blown pineapple? Mm-hmm. One of these critters been out here eating my snacks. Yeah, we got all these pineapple things, but they ain't producing, so I don't know what's up with that. We did have a couple when we moved out here. 2 of them got ate. I was able to recover 2 of them. They were delicious, but anyway, back to the situation at hand. We got some problems over here. So now I want to get there and check out that motion sensor. At least that frog will get a new beat on life. Here's the situation with our slab. So apparently someone, what I would only consider or assume, dry bagged this, meaning they threw down a bunch of dry bags of concrete and just wetted it down and let it dry in place, because it is crumbling for one, and it looks to only be about 2 inches thick here. Now I don't know about here. I drilled down into it with a hammer drill. I was going to cut a square, but can't find my I can't find my other diamond blade, and that one, as you've seen in that other video, is worn out. The problem we're having is, 1, it's nice that there's concrete here. 2, this is a crap way of doing it, and this would absolutely shred the tires on my forklift. I don't think this would even last if I rode the forklift over this a couple times. How easily I broke that up, and then how uneven it is crazy. So I'll just show you from like this point. There's a high point there. It's just so uneven, my level won't even sit. So we're pinned all the way to one side on that bubble, okay? And to level that, we're 2 inches in a 4 foot, 2.5 something inches in a 4 foot span. That unevenness is not, the forklift would not like that. And 2, I just can't. This is just so uneven. It's hard to even walk on it, and it's just, what a crappy way and a waste of so much concrete if they did the whole thing like this. This doesn't even make sense. Or if they had a truck come out here and pour this, it looks like they might have just, I don't even think a truck, I don't know. This doesn't make any sense to me why they did it this way. But this is not structural, because when you don't properly mix the concrete, you get that situation right there where it just crumbles when you put any type of Like I just smacking this with the pin bar, this whole area is just flaking off. Like this whole thing is cracked now, you know, and moving, you know, and it just ain't right. Unfortunately, all this has to come out. Man, that's way more work than I was expecting to do. Okay, years ago, before I cut concrete, I used to pour concrete. And back then, we just had a quick cut saw and sledgehammer. And what I call a pin bar. And we get up under a corner. You get a corner up in the air. Once you pry a piece up, you basically get something under it. And this isn't even, going to break off in like a big chunk. It's just going to be little flakes. Wow. Well, I'm going to have a lot of clean fill for sure. But getting this out, I think I'm gonna have to just get a machine over here and scoop this stuff up, because this is gonna be a nightmare. I'm gonna try. I'm gonna see if we can get a little spot going, see if we can get into it. But doing this by hand, I'm gonna need oh my God, it's gonna be a lot of work. I'm gonna have to ask. I'm going to have to get my buddy to let me bring that Kubota over here, and we just rip this stuff up. There's just no way. It's just so uneven. I got to figure out how high we are. Now, I mean, if this was low enough, I could just come right over top of it with some, you know, with the concrete. But the problem is with the high spots and that low spot, in order to get a thick enough, decent slab to where it's not going to crack up, we'd have to pour it like 3.5, 4 inches thick. So we're going to be way high. And then this got to come out and be regraded, unfortunately. So I got my transit set up. We're going to shoot some grade. I'm going to find out how high that slab is. And then we'll shoot some spots over here, different areas. But just looking at it, it just, man, this is not good, you know. Now technically, I could probably bring that forklift over and we could run on top of this, but as soon as I pick up a 3,000 or 4,000 pound thing plus the weight of the forklift and I start maneuvering around on this, this is just going to start cracking up. It's just not gonna do what we need, and it's just so rough that it is going to shred those solid tires. They're made to run on smooth concrete, and this is very far from smooth concrete. So we're going, oh man, we're gonna try to get all this stuff out of here, at least get these rocks cleaned up off of this the best we can, and then I'm gonna have to figure out a game plan. I'm gonna shoot some grade, see where our elevation is. I got my this is old school, man, but this is a nice transit level, man. It's got, you know, it's got this, that. This is really old, and I probably could use a new one of those, but I have another one of these somewhere, but I don't know if this is gonna, let me see. I'm gonna shoot, where am I shooting? Okay, I'm at the corner Yep, I don't know if this will actually come through. That's the corner. Anyway, that's the corner right there. I'll be able to shoot into the building, this post, that post, a little bit in the middle, just to kind of see where we're at. And then we're gonna have to go from there, because ultimately I want the slab to be starting off level with that slab, because eventually we're going to continue out here. Those pours eventually will probably have a truck come in, because I'll probably form up the whole front and a whole section in the back and just have them come do both at the same time, where it's actually worth paying a guy to come out here. I mean, they want a decent amount of money to come out here and pour. So this stuff up here, I don't have enough space and time. Like, if I moved all this stuff out of here and had it like out in the yard, you know, it would just get ruined. Plus I got to keep working. So unfortunately, this is what we got. Now, how far we're going to go today, I don't know. We might just clean up rock and then move on to some scrapping, because yeah, I just don't know about this. This is I knew there was like some hard spots, but I had dropped that pin bar down on the other side, I thought I busted through. It's not consistent. And this is just a crap way of pouring concrete. Like, what a waste. I guess if you were just parking your RV under here, or a car, whatever, yeah, I guess, you know, that's okay. But I want a nice slab, and that's just not going to work for me. Okay, me and Dakota just shot some grade off of that slab there. All this stuff here is way higher than that. A couple inches here, 3 inches there. It's just no rhyme or reason. Basically, this all got to come out. So what we're for sure going to do today is round up as much of this rock as possible. I mean, even if I get into over here, we're going to clean up and barrel. We're going to put it in barrel, something I can handle if I don't have a machine out here. I got low spots in my driveway over there. And then when we build the side shed for the lawnmower, we'll probably put some of this gravel down, if not pour a little slab for that thing to sit on by itself. But we got a use for the gravel. We are going to recover it and keep it, but the concrete under here is just, it's not going to work for what I want, because I need all of this, you know, eventually a slab, maybe 10 or 15 feet, maybe 20 feet out in front of there, all the way across, something we can park vehicles on under. And eventually, like, I'd like to extend, you know, the roof out so that we can park the cars under shade, or, you know, work under there, or whatever. You know, that's all down the road, but I can't have this slab being higher than all that. It's just not going to work. I want a nice flow through this whole area, and we want a slight pitch that way, so any water, rainwater, is going to run off into our pond, and, you know, keep it full. I don't think it's gone down. I don't see, that's the thing about this pond. We pull water out of every day to feed the animals. I don't know if that's natural groundwater, like coming up through the pond, or if that pond is being filled by rain. So if we have a drought out here or something, our pond could go low. Looking at all the leaves and stuff in the pond, I'm gonna go turn the pump on. Okay, so this is actually, I just turned my pump on. This is the back end of the slab, and I could see, I was standing back here. This is like, it almost looks like someone drove over that. That is so rough. Standing here, like, you'll about break your ankle on this stuff here. It's really bad. I mean, I can't even begin to tell you how rough that is. Probably not coming in on the camera, but that's where we're at. We got a lot more work. Well, not a lot more work. It's just a lot more prep before we can pour concrete. We ain't pouring concrete today. That's for sure. Now, you'll see we drug rocks. I didn't mean to drag the rocks all the way out here, but the hydraulics on this thing are beast mode. This thing didn't even feel that I was dragging anything. So I think what I'm going to do, I need to do 1,000 hour service. This has 2 services. This lawnmower is basically they're known for their low maintenance. You got a 500 hour and 1,000 hour maintenance. This thing had like $9.99 on it. It was ready for its 1,000 hour maintenance, which is fluid changes, filters. Now that I'm kind of back here and getting settled in, we're going to do that, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to go mow that field. We're waiting for the ag. I'm going to wait until the ag people come. We got county agriculture people going to come tell us about our grass, what types of grass, what that brown stuff is, and how we're going to get rid of the brown stuff, because the animals are obviously not grazing on it. They're not eating it, and I need to get it out of there because it's taking a big part of my field up, and I don't want it spreading. But I am going to make a dragger, so when I do go out there and mow the field, I'm probably just going to get a big piece of chain link fence and throw some steel on it, you know, strap the steel down to it somehow and drag it behind this. This thing had no problem dragging that stuff, didn't even feel it. So just to knock and they said knock and spread the manure down, it'll turn into, you know, it'll act like a fertilizer, and it just won't be big clumps everywhere. This will be perfect. This thing's fast. I can get into a lot of the tight areas with it. We just need to get that. I haven't had time, but now I've added a use to it, dragging stuff. I got to get this plate off and pull there's a bunch of baffles under there for mulching. We got to get them out and get the right, I don't know if there's different baffles you put under there. I got to look into it. But this is what we got for our pond, is getting aerated. So we'll let that run for a couple hours, and then we'll clean all this stuff up. We've been cleaning this up a little bit, a little here and there. Okay, here's where we're at. I got homeboy cutting some drums. We're gonna barrel up what rocks we can. I could definitely use this in other places. I'm waiting for my buddy to call me back about getting a machine out here to rip this stuff out. And other than that, we're just going to clean the rock. I actually started the forklift. It actually started right up, which I was kind of shocked about, but it's full of spiders. Like, look at all these guys here. All these little menaces. They're just a menace. So I think I'm gonna come over here, maybe hose this thing off a little bit. I don't know. I could just see them trying to crawl all over me. But we are going to try to get this up on whatever you can call that type of slab. And I want to move this surface grinder up in there so I can get it kind of covered up a little better, and get the forklift up out of the way and start cleaning up this area over here. I mean, my beautiful lakefront parcel of land here is cluttered up with scraps. So we want to get that out. Got Dakota over here cutting some barrels so we can put rock in. We got this one here about 2/3, and she's heavy, so we're going to go about that height, and then we'll get them out of here. And now if I get that forklift over here, I can probably load them on my trailer maybe. Anyway, that's where we're at. I don't know if we're gonna go any further than cleaning rock on this today, but I'll know here in a little bit when I get a contact back from my buddy about when I might be able to get a machine out here to rip this up. This is not something I'm gonna do by hand. I got a lot of other work I can use a machine for out here, so if I can get it out here for a couple days, just rip through some work with it, and then we can get back to pouring some concrete, because I'm gonna have to rip out all of it. I gotta pick that whole machine up and move it so that I can rip that stuff out, put it back down there. Man, I can smell, you smell that? Can you smell it? Yeah. No, it's just whatever was in there. Even though I rinsed these barrels out, the guy that these came from, the dude was making mace, or what do you call that? Pepper spray. So I can smell it. Got a little off track, huh? Anyway, that's where we're at. Unfortunately, we're not pouring concrete today. We're not even setting up forms today. But we will get this rock cleaned up the best we can, and try to get most of that up into the shop and get this cleaned out, so when I do get a machine out here, I could just get to ripping and set some grade. We are 2, 3, and even 4 inches higher than where we want to be, so we got to kind of work this whole area. It's really low, like right there. I mean, it's probably 8 inches low, so we actually have to bring in some of the fill under here. Might actually have to come out. I'll move it over there. Anyway, we'll figure out what we're gonna do. It's just gonna be a lot. I mean, when I'm done, it's gonna be nice, because I'll be able to slide in and out of there, you know, with a pallet jack. I can't, the forklift's not gonna get in there, it's just too high. I'll be able to come in and out with a pallet jack, or at least get stuff to the edge, and I can pick it up with a forklift from there. That's the goal, you know. At least we'll measure it out 15-20 feet out, enough to at least park a car, which I probably would figure would be about 20 feet out. And you know, this will be a nice area, even though it's not going to be where my shop is. When this is done, we can have our cars here, whatever my wife wants to do in there, and I can be on the other side of the property, hiding, doing whatever I want. Okay, this is where we're at. We got this pretty much cleaned off for the most part. I'll run the broom over it one more time. I'll tell you what, even though this is super rough, extremely uneven, I mean, look at this crap here. There's like a almost a foot drop off where there's nothing, and then it's all piled up. It's just not anything I could really do with. But I tell you what, once we remove the rock, walking on this is 10 times better than walking on them rocks. Every time you walk on them rocks, they were like moving around and you couldn't get good footing. I like that. I mean, even though this ain't smooth concrete, this is better than walking on them stupid rocks. We got barrels of them. Now what I'm going to do is, we got the truck hooked up to the forklift because I was trying to drive it off of this wood. The wood is wet and slick, and it just kept sliding that way. And we actually slid almost off there. I did drive backwards off the slab. So what I'm going to try to do is, hey, to make this easier, let's get that up underneath there. Yeah, so we don't have that problem. I'm going to try to jerk it. Well, not jerk it. I'm going to drag it a little bit that way with the truck. She's smoking like a sib right now. I got that oil burning in there. She don't like to idle with that oil. I think I need to run 3 passes on that oil. It shouldn't be smoking that bad on a 50-50 blend. So I think what I have is really dirty oil. All that oil that was sitting behind my shop and them guys gave me, I knew it was kind of dirty. That doesn't bother the performance of the truck. It just smokes a little bit, you know. Once I get on the highway, lay into it a little bit, that'll clear right out. But when I'm just idling around the yard, she starts puffing a little bit of smoke. Ain't no big deal. So what I'm gonna have him do is get on there, start it up, and I'm actually gonna turn. This is gonna sound like we're doing the wrong thing, but I'm gonna turn the wheels like we're gonna turn like it's gonna go that way. But since I'm gonna drag the front end this way, I'm hoping the wheels will walk the back end this way, and I'm gonna try to stick some of that steel over there so we can walk it off into some steel. I mean, if I have to, I'll just drag this thing straight up, hook onto the back of it, and I'll drag it straight back into here. But I'm hoping to at least get it over off you know, where it's at. We got the biggest chain I got out here. This chain is no joke, okay? It's a monster chain. I got the truck in 4-wheel low, so we're just going to give it a little bump and see if I can't finesse it over a little bit. And yeah, hopefully we'll get it up on that ghetto concrete, and then I'll show him my barrel clamp, how to move these heavy things around with the you know, the thing. And I want to get that picked up under there. We'll clean this area up a little bit, then we're going to cut off and start doing some scrapping, because obviously we ain't pouring concrete today. So we will go clean up that other slab, probably pull the form boards off and whatnot, but that's where we're at on this for today. Damn, dude, you went way off the shit. Alright, hold on. Hold on. Good? That's alright. That's in real time. Well, yeah, put it like that. Try to get it up like that. Or maybe. Yeah, you get one of those metal pieces out of there with a shot. Not a whole shot. Almost. See, that's the problem. We're gonna bust through that concrete. Alright, what we're gonna do is we're gonna pull it up onto this wood. Pull it up on that aluminum wood first. side. This side's up. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Alright, man. This time don't give it so much yet. You want to just enough gas, give it a little bit of traction. You want to pop it up out of the hole. You don't want to get off of them boards. All right. Whoa. It's just turning it like that. That's alright, it's popping up, man. Just throw that plywood under there. Oh, there's nothing metal there. Side is pretty good. Move that over. Yeah, this whole side needs to be set up. I guess this is where I dug that hole. Don't. Really? Yeah, put that up on the people. This side's actually pretty good. You might just need this. Go for that. I don't know. Maybe we'll try. Lost the first. That's the problem. You lost reverse. Looks like muddy water.
Flooded?
I don't know. Stream is low. And I don't know if that takes hydraulic fluid or trans fluid. I'm going to have to look that up real quick. Something just happened. Feels like it's not engaging. Wow. It just started in drive. I think our linkage got fucked up. I gotta find out where this linkage is. I gotta pull this plate off real quick. And yeah. Something happened to our linkage. That's unfortunate.
What happened?
I don't know. Neutral is now drive and we have no reverse. Probably 12 millimeter or something. That fluid is very concerning. I gotta drain that. Yeah, I got it. Almost feels like it. I got no neutral. Every one of them is forward. Every one of them is forward. And the clutch ain't disengaged. What the fuck just happened? Wow. Okay, so this turned into a big old cluster F. No matter where the selector is, forward, neutral, reverse, it's stuck in forward. Even with the clutch fully engaged, it's still got pressure to the drive system. The engine's not free, should be able to rev up free, and it's not. So something just happened to the transmission where it's stuck in drive. Not sure what that problem is. Oh, that's not what I needed right now. So I have no idea what that could have been, because there was no signs of this thing ever having any problems, slipping or not having power. It literally, right up until I parked it, literally while I was just moving it here, had plenty of power. And then I hole shot it in the reverse, got stuck, which I've been stuck at my shop many times in that stupid hole that was in the front. Pulled it out with my truck many times. So I'm not really sure what's going on here. I'm gonna have to take a break and think on this for a minute, kind of look up why all of my gears are now forward. I'm not getting no neutral. I'm hoping something didn't happen down in there. I mean, that is spinning. I feel it clicking. The thing is, the clutch is not disengaging. That's kind of what's concerning me. And that fluid in there looked nasty. It looked like emulsified hydraulic oil, or oil mixed with water. I'm hoping that sit in for the last month or whatever, whatever fluid in it didn't mess something up. Now I'm stuck. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do. Now I'm wishing I just left it there. Because this is just a whole nother problem. Now it's right in my way. I was hoping to move this stuff and those barrels, but I don't know. I'm gonna do a little bit of research right quick, and then we're gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do the rest of the day, because I don't think it's gonna be messing with this. I'll tell you where we're going, right to the scrap yard.
copper dancing before?